Okay. Hey guys, AJ here. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Basically, the last video I made, I talked about playing with randoms and my setup pretty much on 115, the Dyna survival. But this time, I'm going to talk about something that everybody should set up, and that's a solo file. And now that we got director's mode back, I'm just going to point out a few things that what I put on to make it a little bit easier for me. So let's get into it real quick. All right. So basically, it doesn't really matter what your setup is in director's mode because again, it's director's mode. It's way easier than regular zombies. But I'm just gonna point out a few things that I'm just gonna basically just share my solo file setup with you guys just to throw it out there. This is how I come into the game. I changed some things like because the thing is, once you start the game, you're going to be capped at 3 and then capped at 5 and then capped at 10 once you got it sort of set up, just like the other director's mode. So I like to run around with ether shroud. I switch to toxic growth later when I'm like camping, but when I start off in ether shroud, and I have my lethals and tacticals the same. This is my go-to. I put on the flatline only because I basically want to kind of level this up and get it out of the way. But I know that in regular zombies, it's kind of hard to use the flatline. So to me, in director's mode, the flatline is not really that hard to use. And on top of that, I melee a lot at the beginning. And like I said, to me, I personally like I wouldn't say I like to use the flatline. I feel like it makes the most sense to level it up in this particular mode because it's easier. And then I come in with an assault rifle for the most part. You could come in with a sniper, but the way I look at it is, at the beginning of the game, you're kind of like in the I'm setting things up mode. So even though it's director's mode, I would rather come in stronger than I need to. That way, when it's time for me to chill and relax, I can always switch, whether it's a wall gun or whether I'm hitting the box, I can always get a gun some other time. Now, now as far as my gobble gum setup, this is my gobble gum pack. I got a couple of them, but this is my gobble gum pack I specifically call solo because this is the one that's going to help me out mostly when I'm solo gaming. I have a lot of more times twos and temporal gifts than I realized because I've been stacking them because we haven't really been needing them. So with that being said, I can put on temporal gift and ×2 right away. And I don't really like OD. I probably use maybe 1 or 2 of these combos per game. So I really don't like use them like that. And once I'm set up, I don't need them anymore. So it's not like I'm using them like crazy. So at the beginning of me setting up, getting my perks and everything, I'll pop 2 of these real quick. Aftertaste, you can never go wrong with aftertaste. If something goes wrong, you can get picked back up with all your perks. And and I think that that's a good thing. Now, as far as you can see, I got literally maxed out with max ammo. So I'm going to bring that in. That's natural. And as far as the fire cells goes, I have another way to get like basically I'm going to be switching my gun around every so often because when you're in director's mode, I don't know about y'all, but once I set up director's mode, I want to set up so it's set up. I don't want to go back and keep setting it up. I want to have it set up so when I'm in director's mode or every time I choose to go into director's mode, it's going to be set up sort of the way I like it with my gobble guns, with my perks, and I just know that I'm going to be straight. And Ashes of the Dam director's mode, the only drawback I see is just like regular Ashes of the Dam, you got to chase the box because it ain't going to be in just one location like the farm. So with that being said, you never know where the box is going to be. So I'm going to come in with a couple of fire cells. And on top of that, I have another way of getting it. So basically I have it set up so I ain't got to keep venturing around the map looking for the box and stuff like that. But so since I have 9 of them, I'm going to use a couple of them just to get the gun that I need real quick. And then I'll just switch to something else. I typically would try to look for a sniper rifle or a marksman. But you got to remember that there are some wall guns on the map as well, too. So you have a lot of options. And this is a good way to level up your more difficult weapons also. Now, I'm going to just say a couple of pointers real quick, and that will be it. And I'm going to show a little bit of gameplay also. So this video is going to be a little bit longer than I want it to be, but I just wanted to just throw it out there. So I'm going to talk about a couple of augments now. One of the augments I'm going to talk about is Toxic Growth. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. This is director's mode. So it really doesn't matter what you put on. I'm just going to share what I put on. If you don't have this maxed out at all, and you can't have two of these right now, I'm going to say if you had to pick one of them, I would say you should have it so the Toxic Growth, the strength of it is a little bit, stronger, only because it's not going to break as easy. It's not going to disappear. I think it's on some type of timer. And I just feel like when you have this on, the Toxic Growth lasts a lot longer. That's what I noticed anyway. And as far as the the major goals, you can put whatever you want. I've been testing. I usually put this one on, and this one gives you a wider radius, and that's pretty cool, and it slows them down sort of. But I've been actually looking into this one real quick, right? And I ain't got a chance to stop and read it. And it basically says the first normal or special enemy to walk into the Toxic Growth. It's kind of like charmed and stuff, and it just sits there the whole time, and it actually stops other zombies from entering the Toxic Growth. So the way that translates to me in my mind is, like when you're chilling on Ashes of the Dam, like shout out to BG for teaching us how to set up the chill spot there at the spawn. What that translates to me is I can put up a Toxic Growth behind me, right? And the moment like I have it like the car parked a certain way, so if a zombie was to like jump up behind me in the glitch, right? He's going to be charmed right away, and he's going to stop, and any other zombies is kind of trying to jump up behind my spot where I'm camping at. It would stop them. That one charmed zombie would stop them from getting through also. So I kind of like tested this out. I kind of like this one. So I'm going to put this one on, and I'm going to give it a few more goes and see how that goes out. But given the fact that I do have two miners that I can pick, I think my second one is probably going to have it so they're slowed down. I could have it as an extra charge, but I really can't. I don't think you can go wrong with an extra charge, or I don't think you can really go wrong with slowing them down or an extra charge. I just don't think I need a second charge as much as I want them to just be slowed down. But just because you have an extra charge, that just means you just have a charge built up, so when one falls away, then you're good. But they're not going to be getting as destroyed as they are in a regular game, so I think I would rather have them slowed down when they do come in. And I think that I don't really need it, but I'm just going to just try both ways basically, because I'm going to be in and out of a bunch of different, so you can change this back and forth. So I already know how it is to have an extra charge. I'm going to put this on to see if it works out. I think you shouldn't put on the fruit, because I don't think the fruit is necessary in director's mode. So anyway,